Yo, what's going on? It's your boy Steve and E back with another episode of the Sandlot Bro Podcast. We have some big news today, some shocking news today, some NBA playoffs excitement here, and then we're gonna end it with some history in the making. So we'll kick it off with the big news in baseball world, which was Vladimir Guerrero Jr. signs to a 14-year $500 million extension with the Toronto Blue Jays. So he's going to be a Blue Jay for life. How do you feel about the signing? Was it too much, too little, just right? Give me your thoughts on that.
I mean, honestly speaking, when you go into like depth of everything, Vladdy's gonna be like 27 years old. Well, when he would have hit free agency. So hitting free agency at that age, I mean, we just saw Juan Soto what he got, and last year he had like 323 with like 30 homers and like 100. Was it 30? Yeah, 30 home runs and like 100 and something RBIs. I mean, he is a very good player. As far as defense, I mean, he's playing first base. He's an average defender. So, I mean,
Mm-hmm.
honestly speaking, I think it's just right. Um, I think, I mean, if Soto doesn't sign his deal, he probably gets like 400, 450 maybe.
Mm-hmm.
Soto's deal probably just upped it a little bit. And they needed to re-sign him because as we've seen, free agents, they don't want to go to Toronto.
Right.
I mean, everyone's a second. Like Toronto literally got nobody until like Santander.
Right.
So I mean, I think it's just right, but I mean, they got some other things to figure out. I mean, they check this one off the box, and they'll go into free agency. Maybe they sign Bo Bichette, but I think this is a perfect signing. I mean, he does sign for $325 million signing bonus, sorry, which is absolutely insane to think about. But
Yeah.
gets me thinking, man, like, is this lockout for the baseball season at the end of 2026 really coming, man? Because I don't know. All these deals happening is for a reason.
Yeah. I mean, like you said, this is a move the Blue Jays had to make because, like you said, they've been missing out on so many free agents. And having a superstar like Vlad on your team is gonna draw um, attention to your team, your market, and players are gonna want to play there. Like we
Hmm.
remember Toronto a couple years back, they were the hot thing when they had Bautista, Donaldson, Tulowitzki. They were a hot team. They were a playoff team. They were competing, and then they kind of fell off a little
Yeah.
bit after that. Well, a lot of bit. But then Vladdy came with Bichette. They had a lot of good other players, the young players come up. Then they got Barrios, so they made moves, but they just haven't been able to pull the trigger on the big free agent market. And I think
Yeah.
pulling in Vlad gets you that little pull a little bit because he's really pretty close with the Spanish community. So he's gonna have those
Mhm.
connects when it comes to things like that, and people are gonna want to play with him. So it's really big for the Blue Jays. I'm happy. We get to see a player stay with their team that they came up with because it's something you don't really see often a lot of the time where a player comes up with that organization, retires with that organization. I mean, he can still get traded. I don't know. But as of
Yeah.
right now, it looks like he's going to be a Blue Jay for life. So super awesome. It's their biggest contracts in Springer, which was 6 years, 150. So that's a
Yeah.
big jump there. But like I said, it's something they had to do, something they know they needed to do. They didn't get it done during the off season, but I'm glad they were able to get it done during the season early, especially.
Yeah.
As-
So it's not hanging over his head.
Correct. Yeah. So now he can just be like, all right, this is done. Let me just play ball. So that's awesome news for the Blue Jays there. Sucks for the
Yeah.
Yankees,
I
but
mean,
awesome for the Blue Jays.
yeah. I mean, I'm gonna just point it out because we did it with Devers. We incited Devers and his struggles, and
Mm-hmm.
it's not like Vladdy's struggling or anything. But a 75 plate appearances, no home runs. So
Yeah, I
do
mean,
what you do.
it's gonna happen.
Yeah, I mean, like, listen, the statistics are still backing him. He's not whiffing. He's not really Kane as much. He's chasing a little bit. I mean, he's hitting the ball still very, very hard. It's just, I don't know.
Yeah, I mean,
Ball's
like me and
baseball.
it's baseball. You can have 0 home runs the first month and just pop off with 13 the next month. So
Yeah,
I mean,
they're
and he's definitely that caliber player where he can just start smacking two a game or
yeah,
four in a
definitely.
week or something like that. But good on the Blue Jays.
He
But
hits them in bunches.
correct. So now we're gonna move on to the NL Central, where the
Yes,
Cubs, the
sir.
first place Cubs, let me add that, the first place Cubs just lost one of their best pitchers in Justin Steele for the season, which is a really big blow. I mean, he wasn't pitching well, but we know his stuff. We've seen him the last couple of years. He's pretty lights out once he gets it going. So for them to lose Justin Steele for the season is gonna hurt them a lot, especially in the Central that's pretty wide open. I think I it's gonna be a toss up whether they win it or not now, but because losing him is such a big piece. But I feel like they have enough pieces around that to possibly still edge it out. But we'll see. How do you feel about Steele being out for the season now?
I think it breaks this. Honestly speaking, I think it hurts for the Chicago Cubs. Um, he is their ace. He's their 1A, 1B with Nama. I don't think they have enough to catapult themselves over the Reds. I mean, I know right now they're in first place, but listen, the Reds are right there.
Yep, it's
The
pretty
Cardinals are
close.
surprisingly,
Yeah,
yeah, the Cardinals are right there, 8-8, and then the Brewers, who's a team that's got off to a slow start, but is picking it back up. Listen, I don't see it happening. I just they're 1 through 5 right now is Iganama, who amazing pitcher.
he's a stud.
Matthew Boyd, Ben Brown, Colin Rea, and then Jason Tyone. Javier Assad is coming back from he's trained his oblique in February, but there's not a lot of room. I mean, right now you're pitching with one ace and probably like maybe 3 to 4 number threes, fours in a good rotation. I mean, it's gonna be very tough, and it's gonna put a lot on this lineup. It's gonna put a lot on this line. I mean, this lineup is pretty decent. I mean, we saw PCA hit 2 home runs the other night, so if he could put it together, it's gonna be he has the tools to be kind of special, but it's gonna put a lot more pressure on this lineup. And I'll be very, very interested to see if they don't sign Kyle Tucker to the extension and see what they look like during the trade deadline, because they can very easily be sellers as well. Because this trade deadline's gonna be pretty massive.
Yeah, I think it's gonna be really spicy. I think when we talk about trade deadline, just because there's gonna be a lot of teams where they're in that weird position where they're like in the rebuild mode, but they could still kind of
Yeah.
compete, and they're gonna have to pick and choose there. Basically, the whole Central is gonna be in that position where
Hmm.
they all can compete in the Central because it's not a strong division right now. And then, but do you want to sell high right now or just try to compete for the fans and possibly? I mean, you never know. Playoffs, something amazing can happen. I mean,
Yeah.
I look on the East, the same thing. There, you have the East is so stacked where like people like the Phillies are gonna have to decide sooner or later if they want to let some of these veterans go. The Braves are kind of struggling as well, so trade deadline is definitely gonna be interesting to see which teams end up wanting to sell, which teams end up wanting to compete, and like you said, with Kyle Tucker being a free agent, if they do sell, who's gonna take that bait? Because like we just seen with the Yankees and Juan Soto,
Hmm.
he might not stay depending on where he goes. So it's definitely a big risk, and teams are not gonna want to sell high on that either.
Yeah, I mean, this is the issue they run into, and especially, I mean, yeah, they're off to a hot start. They're 7-3 in their last 10, right? And I'm just gonna list teams because it's three that win the Division Three wild card, right?
Right,
Mets, Phillies, most likely gonna be one of them is gonna win the division. Most likely, the other one's gonna be in the wild card,
right,
right? I'm gonna skip the Central. Padres, 13-3, right? Giants, 12-4. Dodgers 11-6. That's already 5 spots, and it's gonna be very, very tough for 3 teams out of the West to make it out of that division, and then one wins the division, the other two go to the wild card.
yeah.
That's gonna be very, very difficult. We've seen it happen, but for the East, I believe with the Yankees, I believe it's 2 years ago with the Yankee. I might be wrong, but we've seen it happen one time before. But it's just if they don't, they have to win out this division, because if they don't, they're not going to get a wild card spot.
I think it was
If you're getting,
the Yankees, Rays, Orioles.
Yes, yes, yes,
If I'm
yes. I
not
think it was like 2 years
mistaken.
ago.
Yeah. I know the Red Sox
But
haven't been
yeah,
there for a while, so
so that's my only issue with the Cubs. If they don't win the division, they're not going to the playoffs.
yeah. Sadly enough, but yeah.
So yeah, and listen, the Brewers are only gonna get better. They're gonna get Woodruff back.
And you still got the
The Reds are
Diamondbacks in the
just
West too. Don't forget about them.
exactly there's 4 teams in the West right now.
Yeah, and only 3 are coming out, so
So and they still got the Reds and the Brewers to like they need to
yeah, I
I don't
agree.
know. And we're sleeping everyone right now is sleeping on the Braves. They can very easily get Acuna back. And they're gonna get Spencer Strider back, I think this Wednesday.
Mhm.
So it's just there's a lot. The NL is absolutely jam packed.
Yeah.
The NL is literally the Western Division in the NBA.
Right.
Like it's gonna come down to a couple games. So
Yeah, it's exciting stuff. So we'll see what they do if they make a move to replace Justin Steele or something like that, and we'll see if they can make a move, either that or
I
sell.
would, yeah, I would be very interested to see um if they go back to a Cade Horton, who's their first round draft pick from 2022.
Mhm.
Maybe, if I'm not mistaken, he's healthy. Maybe they go back to Cade Horton or Jordan Wicks. I mean, they got a couple guys that are right there on the cusp of the MLB. They're both in AAA. So maybe they go the young route. Maybe they try to go get a veteran. Who knows? I mean, there's still a couple of veterans, but now they're free agents.
Yeah, Trevor Bauer.
So he's not coming back ever again.
I always bring him up because he's always posting under like whatever, what's the analyst name, whatever the MLB analyst is, I forget his name. He always like he'll post something about pitchers and Trevor Bauer would just be like, huh, interesting. He's like, and then he'll be like,
That
I'll take a
guy,
league minimum. I'm like, this dude, bro.
honestly speaking, he was a good pitcher. He was
He's just
if he
funny.
ever came back, he'll probably pitch like a 4 or 5 ERA. No disrespect.
Yeah, he's funny though.
Yeah.
All right, so we're gonna.
You want to get into some groundbreaking records being broken?
Yes, sir.
All right, for the ice, let's go to the ice. Let's go to the ice skating ring. Let's go over to the Capitals.
Yes, sir. DC.
Alexander Ovechkin breaking Wayne Gretzky's goal record.
Yeah.
Wayne Gretzky had 894 goals, and then Alexander Ovechkin on April 6th scored his 895th goal. If you're watching anything on Sports Center, listen, I know they don't talk about hockey or anything like that very much, but this guy he came off an injury and they were like, oh, maybe he'll get it next year if he plays next year. And then this guy just goes on a rampage to literally end the season, just scoring goal after goal after goal after goal. He breaks the record. And bro, I love hockey and the way they did it. They stopped the game. They brought out Gretzky, and Gretzky shook his hand, said a beautiful speech, and gave his wife a present and all that stuff. And man, I really love how the way the NHL handles things like this in general, and it's very class personified, and it really shows how this league is really just yeah, sometimes it's about the individual player, but it's always about the team first. You would never, honestly speaking, I hate to say it, but you would never see something like that in the NBA. And I would probably question a couple other sports too, but it's like when LeBron broke the scoring record, it was just like, oh well, this, that, and the third. I was like, bro, just appreciate, man. But I mean, listen, me and you always had our battle. Who's better, Ovechkin and Sid the Kid Crosby? I would always say Ovechkin. You always say Crosby, but whatever. I guess we'll have this one over, even though Crosby got the rings. But what are your instant reactions? What's
Uh,
up?
I thought it was awesome. It was one of those records when we looked at years ago, a couple years ago. It was one of those
Hmm.
records that seemed untouchable. It was kind of the same thing like in basketball where Kareem's record seemed untouchable and then it got broken. So it's kind of eye opening because even Ovechkin in the interview, maybe I think it was like 5, 6 years ago, he was like, "Nah, I'm not getting there." And then to see him to do it in the same amount of games as well is kind of crazy, if you ask me. Like
Yeah.
same amount of games, he broke the record in the same amount of games. Is insane. Which, but and then I was also thinking about like he doesn't get the credit of longevity as much as he should, because
Hmm.
20 years in the NHL is a lot.
Yeah.
the what they put on their bodies day in and day out, and in the hockey season is so like quick to get back started up. It doesn't. There's not a long break in between, and they play so many games. They play, I believe, the same thing as the NBA, 82 games, I think.
Yeah.
And like we always hear about LeBron and his longevity, but it's like this guy's been doing it for years as well. And like it kind of goes unnoticed, which is kind of sucks because it's a big achievement. It's, like I said, it's one of those records that no one thought was gonna be touched. We thought Wayne Gretzky was gonna hold that record forever.
Yeah.
But and to see something broken like that, and then the class of Wayne Gretzky to actually like come out, share a
Hmm.
beautiful speech, shake his hand, be there for the whole thing, for the whole presentations and all that stuff is just awesome. You don't get to see that a lot of the times in sports because obviously some record holders pass away and stuff like that. So
Yeah.
for Wayne Gretzky to actually be there and to acknowledge it, and they both had a good moment together. It was awesome. In general, it was just awesome, and they won
Yeah.
the game. So that's just cherry on top. Because sometimes when
Most important thing.
some people break records and the team loses, so it's not as cool. But to break a record, win the game in front of basically the GOAT of hockey, it's that's awesome. Like I have nothing
Yeah.
else to say, but it was awesome. I watched it
Yeah.
live because I was just waiting. I was like, he's gonna break it. So I was gonna watch it happen. The celebration from both teams, the crowd, it was just insane. And he didn't even keep the puck.
100%.
That's the crazy part. He didn't
But
even keep it.
that's the thing. But that's the thing about hockey. That's what I honestly speaking, if you don't watch hockey and if you never watched hockey, I just say like, listen, watch a game or two. If they, go in second, third period, go watch it now in the playoffs.
Oh yeah.
I think you hit the greatest note, and it's just longevity in this game. Listen, if you ever gone ice skating for like an hour, like 30 minutes, and your feet start hurting, imagine doing that every single day.
Yeah. I'm getting hit.
Like every single day, getting hit, skating. I always say this. To me, baseball is the hardest sport in the entire universe. It's the hardest thing to do, even with torpedo bats. Everyone. Um, but honestly speaking, to me, the close second is hockey. There's nothing in those to me that is a close second outside of hockey because you're doing hand-eye coordination, you're doing foot coordination while ice skating, and oh my god, this guy's gonna hit me while I have the puck. Like it's
And
insane.
it's not just a hit. It's a hit. Like they hit you.
These guys skate at like 20 plus miles per hour and hit the hockey puck at 80 to 100 miles per hour as well.
It's not
So
it's not an easy task to do that
let's
for 20 years and on the top of your game. Like it wasn't like he fell off and was
yeah.
terrible. Like he obviously wasn't Ovechkin from like like when we used to play NHL, but he was still
Yeah.
Ovechkin. He was still a threat on the when he was on the ice. So
Hmm.
like I said, he definitely deserved it. Like you never hear anything bad about Ovechkin. He's a true leader, and it's like he was definitely praised at all times. And he's one of those players that he's real gritty. Like he'll get the job
Yeah,
done. So
he hits too.
yeah,
He hits too. He's not like, sorry, Steve. He's not like Crosby who like, oh, I don't want to hit nobody. No, that guy goes in there and that mother he'll lay somebody out.
all right. Enough.
Sorry, Steve. Sorry. Sorry.
Enough about Sid.
Let's let me go off a little rail over here, go and then I'll kind of segue back in. We're gonna go into another record breaker. I don't know if you caught this one. Roy McIlroy winning his first green jacket and completing a golf grand slam, and he's joining five other golfers that include Jack Nicholson, Tiger Woods, Gene Swarzin, Ben Hogan, and also Gary Player. I don't know if you got to watch this. I got to watch at the very, very, very end. But that was impressive.
Yeah,
I don't know if you saw he had a big lead
almost
and then
blew
he
it.
like lost it.
Yeah.
Yeah, then like in the way he always does, and then like he came back and then he won the playoff, which playoffs usually never happen. There's like one other time, I forget it was like 2017, I think the last one was. But yes,
No trust. I saw, and I was like, ain't
Big
no
Roy.
way he's about to ruin it. Cause he had, I think it was a putt where he had to hit it, and if he would have made it, he would have won, and there would have been no playoff.
Yeah,
And he missed, and it was like, I'm not gonna say it's an easy job, but it was like maybe like 12, 15 feet, something that they you normally sink in. And when he missed, I put my head down. I was like, there's just no way, right? So I was just like, there's just no way he don't get green, right? But then obviously he pulls it off. So it was obviously one of those good things to see, and happy that it happened because he's
Yeah.
definitely one of those golfers that deserve it. He's been grinding at it for a while now, and like you said, not a lot of people get to put that green jacket on, especially win a Grand Slam in the golf universe. So it's awesome to see that we're just,
Yeah.
like, able to live through experiences like this because it doesn't happen often. So it's pretty cool that we got to see two records being broken
Yeah.
in the span of a week.
Yeah. All right. Let's go from the ice skating ring to the greens in golf, all the way to the hardwood in basketball. And let's talk about a week before the NBA playoffs. The Denver Nuggets fire Mike Malone. 10 years with the Denver Nuggets from 2015 to 2025. He had 471 wins. He was
Yeah,
averaging 47 wins a season in 10 seasons. And he won the NBA championship in 2023. First thoughts, initial thoughts. What do you think of this a week or a week and a half before the NBA playoffs?
I don't get it. If I'm being completely honest. It's not like the Nuggets are struggling at all. It's not like they're the eighth seed or anything. So I don't quite understand it. It must be like a upper management thing, or the players said something, but then I doubt that because he's been with the same players for majority of the time. So I don't quite understand. He has, like you said, I mean, he's been there a while. He's holding a 59% win percentage, which is pretty good if you ask
Mhm.
me. So I don't understand it, especially when the team was playing well and you're expected to be pretty much the favorite in the West, if you ask me. Obviously, the Thunder are no number one seed, sure, but everyone knows the threat is the Denver Nuggets and Jokic. So I don't understand the reasoning behind it. Maybe you fire him after the season if you don't win the championship, but if you, I don't know. I honestly don't know. Like, what do they want from him, to be honest?
There was a report that came out that he they were thinking about firing him during the All-Star break. And when I read that, I was like, that kind of like, cool, whatever. If you want to fire a coach, listen, we're not in a day and age anymore where it's the player's fault. Now the coach gets the blame for everything, and that kind of sucks because Mike Malone's a very, very, very good coach.
Agreed.
I mean, a week before the playoff, if you were thinking about doing that during the All-Star break, I guess they were just waiting for validation. Like, oh yeah, that's why. They were like 12-13 after the All Star break, sitting around 500. Let's just say after the All Star break. Listen, I get it. Maybe you want to jumpstart your team, but I don't think this is the way to go for it because now you're putting a coach on the spot to now do rotations, make adjustments in game, and it's just like it makes no sense to me. Honestly speaking, if you were gonna fire somebody, you get rid of the GM first because Mike Malone is proven. So listen, it sucks for Mike Malone. I think he's gonna bounce back. I think he's gonna be coaching if he wants to coach.
Right.
Next year maybe. If he wants to take the year off, again, we don't know if he does or not. But he would have a job pretty quickly.
Oh yeah.
Um,
Oh yeah, he'll have a job
uh,
real good, real fast actually. But yeah, like I said, it's really shocking because they're the fourth seed, so it's not like
yeah,
anything bad, and they were basically tied for the third, fourth, and fifth
yeah, they were,
seed. So,
yeah,
and I think it benefits them being the fourth seed now because they play. We'll get into like the seedings and all that in a little bit, but they play the Clippers versus if they got the third seed, they play the Timberwolves. A little bit of a tougher matchup for them because Ant, no one could really guard them on that team. I don't think so. I think it worked out. I don't know. I don't get it. I guess we'll figure it out if it worked out during the playoffs. If people are being utilized correctly, but we'll see. I mean, maybe it plays out and they win the championship. I don't know. It could be the right room, but we'll see at the end of their tenure in the playoffs to see what happens with them if they win the championship, first round, second round exit. We'll see, and we can come back to it and see if it was the right move or not. Which I don't think it was, and obviously you don't think it is either. So
let's get on to another firing. The 36-46 Phoenix Suns fire former coach of the year, former NBA champion with with the Milwaukee Bucks in 2021, Mike Budenholzer. I'll I- I'll give my initial reaction. I think cool, whatever. I think Budenholzer is a great coach. I mean, he won the championship with the Bucks. Um, again, I don't think this is a coaching issue for this team. I think this is more of a player issue. Honestly speaking, I get they had some injuries. They were kind of up and down, but when you have talented players like a Devin Booker, like a Kevin Durant, like a Bradley Beal, uh, there's no way on God's green earth you're winning 36 games. We came on this pod and said this team should be in the
Oh
playoffs.
yeah,
I
we
mean,
we hammered that down. Our frustrations with that team. Yeah,
this
definitely.
is it, I don't under we sat here and like try to figure this out. I can't with this team. I mean, they try to use Yusuf Nurkic, cool, whatever, but this team needs to be ripped apart during this
Oh
offseason. Like I
yeah.
said, I think they'll trade Kevin Durant and maybe Devin Booker. They probably can't get off of Bradley Beal because he has a no trade clause. Silly them for whatever. I mean, they got Bradley Beal off that on that contract, so it's not their fault, but it's their fault for trading for him. Let's be honest with you.
Yeah, I think you pretty much said it correctly. I'd blow it up. Like just get rid of everyone, start running new because obviously it's not working. You tried with CP3 last year, it got you somewhere, it worked. Then you get rid of CP3, bring in Durant, Beal. Obviously did not work. So I think you just blow it up now and get what you can for all of them and just move on because at this point, if you can't get it to work with two of the top scorers in the NBA,
Mhm.
I don't know where you go from there. It's like, what are you gonna add another scorer? It's not gonna work. So you just call it a loss. You get either rid of. Obviously, you're gonna get rid of Durant because you don't want to build around him because he's already hitting that age. But if you're gonna keep Booker, then you're gonna have to figure out what works for him. Obviously, him running the point guard did not work, so don't do it again. And get a more like pure point guard like CB3 was, and because obviously that helped him a lot more. So that's where I think they go with it. As far as the coaching firing, sure. I mean, he's not the one on the court shooting the ball. So I mean, when you have three superstar caliber players of that level, you think they can figure it out. Obviously, never happened. So if you want to fire him, cool. I would also, like you said, get rid of the GM because I don't think they did anything to solve it. They were just like, figure it out. So it's whatever. They obviously didn't make the playoffs, so this is why he probably got fired because of that. Because with Durant on your team and Booker, you're kind of expected to make the playoffs. So it is what it is. We kind of kept hitting at it that they're pretty close to not making it, and here we are today saying, well, they didn't make it. So
Yeah.
sucks for them.
100%. But it's gonna make the off season very, very, very interesting.
For sure.
To see what teams like the Phoenix Suns are gonna do.
Mm-hmm.
To see where Kevin Durant's gonna go because most likely he's the one that's gonna be out the door.
Right.
But this team's issue is center depth and defense. I mean,
Yep.
when your leading rebounder is averaging 6 rebounds a game, that should tell you right there. And your leading rebounder was what, Plumlee?
Just tell you right
That's
there.
that.
Maybe we might need a center.
Was it Plumlee?
Nah, I don't know.
Whatever. Anyways, let's get on to some good and let's get stay on the hardwood in basketball. We got playoffs coming this week. We got play in.
Yeah, we could just hit the
So
play-ins and then.
yeah, I mean, yeah, 100%. Let's go into the play-ins and we'll
Mm-hmm.
worry about 1 through 8 and all that good stuff on the next pod.
Yeah.
We'll do East Coast first.
Yes,
East Coast, the
sir.
best coast, East the beast. Let's do 9 versus 10 Bulls versus the Miami Heat. Who you got? One game, show up or don't. Who you got?
Oof. Honestly, this is actually a tough one. because you don't know what you're gonna get from Wiggins sometimes, and I feel like that's the X factor of the Heat, because he can go drop 40, can also not. And I feel like the Bulls are a little bit more consistent right now since the Heat lost Jimmy Butler. They've been on a little bit of a downslope, so just give a little edge to the Chicago Bulls here. I won't be surprised if the Heat win at all. Like I said, it kind of depends what Andrew Wiggins you're getting out of it is my concern there, because sometimes he kind of just disappears and doesn't do anything. But if he's on his game, I definitely the Heat. But like it's one of those things we can't predict if he's gonna do good. So I'm just gonna give the edge to the Bulls because I feel like they're a little bit more consistent.
So here's the only thing that I have an issue with.
Mm-hmm. Following.
I hate betting against Eric Spoelstra. I hate it. I hate it. I hate it. I hate it. He is probably one of the better coaches in the NBA. I'll definitely say he's top five.
For sure.
Um, I hate it, but I might have to do it.
Sometimes you gotta do stuff you hate.
So, okay, I will say this. They versed on April 9th, and the Chicago Bulls beat them 119 to 111. Both teams were pretty much healthy, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, yeah,
And the
yeah.
Bulls edged them out by 8 points.
Mm-hmm.
I got to go with the Bulls.
Yeah, I agree.
And I, I say it, but I disagree with Andrew Wiggins being your X Factor. I think the X Factor is Eric Spoelstra. I need to see what that man is going to do because that man might pull out a zone and they might forget how to break a zone. So that's my X factor for this game. But
Okay.
if it comes down to just playing 5-on-5, I think I'm gonna go edge Chicago Bulls.
Yep. All right.
Next, we're gonna go to 7th versus 8th seed, the Orlando Magics versus the Atlanta Hawks. I'll go first here. I'm not betting against Paulo Banchero, man. Not gonna do it. I'm
Oh.
going Magic. Magic big too. Trey Young, god damn it. Nah, imagine. Nah, but I'm not gonna bet against Paulo Banchero. I love his game. I mean, I said on the like first or second pod, he reminds me like a little bit of a mellowish type player, but he's 6'10". So, and then you got Franz Wagner. Um, the only issue with this team, you are gonna run into is this is the worst 3-point shooting team in the NBA.
Mm-hmm.
They're definitely bottom five. So that might be an issue, but this kid's gonna drop fucking 35.
Well, I guess this is where the part we disagree here, because I'm gonna take Trey Young and the Atlanta Hawks, just because I know what
Ooh.
Listen, Trey Young in the playoffs, I don't know what happens, but he just becomes a different animal, and I can't fight against it. I've seen him, and I think he's just gonna show up and take him out. I just can't bet against him. He's just like ice Trey in the playoffs. I don't know, and then he just goes crazy, and then he ends up hitting game winners and stuff. So I just kind of have to give that slight edge on that side, just because he's been there before. Well, that whole team's been there before, and they just
Mhm.
figure it out somehow. They just always figure it out, and I feel like the Magic, as good as they are, they're still very, very young, and I feel like they're still a piece or two away, but I feel like they're right on the cusp of being like super, super dangerous in the East.
Yeah.
So I do give the slight
So
edge to the Hawks, though.
last time they played each other was April, I believe 11th. No, 13th. Sorry, they played each other the 11th. Atlanta won, but no teams are playing any starters. The time before that they
Figured.
played April 8th. The Magic won 119 to 112. Trey Young dropped what is 28 points with 10 assists, but lost. And on the flip side of that, you had Carroll who dropped 33, with Franz Wagner dropping 22. So
That's
we disagree here,
sounds like
but this is gonna be a good
it
one.
still sounds like a good game, though. Still sounds like a good game.
Yes, both games do sound very
Yeah,
very good. The
that's
Bulls
all
and the
that's
Heat.
all that matters.
I just need two good games. I need two bangers, man. Give me two
Please,
bangers because
cause
we
like,
know what that first round's gonna be.
bro, cause last year it was just blowout after blowout after blowout, and I'm like, what am I watching? It was very
100%.
frustrating last year.
All right, let's go over to the West Side. We'll
To
do
the
9 versus 10.
west, to the
We got the
west.
Mavericks versus the Sacramento Kings. I will go first because I feel like you're gonna copy me because I'm going first. And I'm gonna go with the Dallas Mavericks taking out the Sacramento Kings.
Weird. I thought the same thing.
Honestly speaking, I just think this team is getting a little more healthier. Obviously, they don't have any Kyrie,
Right.
but they still have the pieces to win. They still have Clay, they still have Anthony Davis, they have PJ Washington, they got Derek Lively, Max Christie is playing out of his mind since joining this team.
Yeah.
Daniel Gafford is back. Jaden Hardy's playing on, but might see a little bit of Spencer Dinwiddie. But yeah, I think this. I like the Kings. They're cool. They traded Aaron Fox. We don't really like them that much anymore. For me, they still got Sabonis. But and Levine. But I think the Mavericks can do this.
Yeah, for sure. Like you said, with Kyrie out, I feel like it's a more dangerous team if that makes sense. Just because they have to play through Anthony Davis, and now you have to either risk Sabonis on that one-on-one because Davis is gonna play the four, and then you can't leave Garford or Lively alone down there. So it's like they're gonna play a more inside game, and Davis is a good passer enough to dish that back out to, like you said, Clay or Dinwiddie or whoever's gonna be out there. So I feel like it makes it more of a threat that Kyrie's not out there because as good as Kyrie is, he is more ball dominant than Anthony Davis is. Like Anthony Davis doesn't necessarily need the ball in his hands to do anything uh worth an impact. But the way Anthony Davis has been playing lately, it's kind of scary. And if he's gonna be the main scorer and the main ball handler, the way he can draw a double team with him dishing out the way he can is, I think it makes them a little more dangerous, especially that they have three very top tier big men. Just
Yeah.
saying, because you're gonna have to put a big man on Davis, and if they get in foul trouble, you still got two other dudes who can just put as much damage on that inside of the hardwood there for the Mavericks. So as much as it
Yeah.
sucked losing Kyrie, I think for now they'll be just fine until they start versing those top tier teams. Well, they'll miss him a little bit, but for now, I think they'll be good.
Yeah. And then the seventh seeded Warriors versus the Memphis Grizzlies. We might both agree on this one too.
I don't know. I guess I'll start it off. So the thing with the Warriors, they're 0-3, I believe, in play-ins. So I
Yeah.
heard Draymond talking about it. So it's something they have to get over that hump. Obviously, it's the Warriors. They can easily do that. But against a Grizzlies team who's so very annoying and so young and so like they just run, 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 and then they have John Morant who's just doing John Morant things. It's not gonna be easy for them. But they do have a Jimmy Butler now that can deal with that if need be. So I'm like I said, I do give the Warriors a slight edge there just because Jimmy can pull that defensive side out now. And you have Draymond that's going to do the same thing, and he's going to be barking at people and shoving people and disrupting a whole lot of things. And then same thing with Jimmy. He's going to be a presence there as well. So I think they do end up winning this game, but I think it's going to be hopefully a lot closer than we think.
Um, I got the Warriors. I think this game will be competitive until the fourth quarter.
Mm-hmm.
Um, the last time they played each other was April 1st,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm gonna just give you a number, and it's 52. That's how much Stephen Curry scored against this team.
Well, hopefully he
Man
do it again.
shot 12 from 20 from 3 point. Listen,
Sheesh.
I don't really think Memphis. We talked about two coaches firing. We didn't talk about the other in Memphis with Taylor Jenkins. I don't think Memphis really. I don't know. I feel like they've lost, as the kids of this era would say, their aura. But I feel like they lost their heart and soul when they let go of Dylan Brooks, and I think they've been searching for that. I mean, they have a very, very, very good team, and I don't think they have Jalen Williams. He's broke his wrist, but they have a very good team, and you kind of that's another team you kind of sit back and you wonder how are they sitting in a play-in. Um, I guess listen, the West is very, very tight.
Mm-hmm.
If the Memphis Grizzlies want to win this game, I think the X factor is Jaren Jackson Jr.
Yep.
There was a game I think last week where he had 2 rebounds. Brother, you are 6'10", 6'11". You're reaching 7 feet. Your ass better be down in the block getting me more than 2 rebounds. I'm all for pace and space and drive and kicks from John Morant to open threes. But the last time he played, he went 2 for 9 from the 3-point line. Again, if you
Yeah.
don't go get your fucking dunks and go get an easy bucket or two or three or four or five, because you're that talented. This guy is great. This guy can win
Mm-hmm.
Defensive Player of the Year and average 25
Yeah.
and 10, but we don't see it.
I
So
agree.
listen, I know they have Zach Edey and he can get you 10 to 15 rebounds, but that man should be crashing these boards. Like if he doesn't play up to the standard of Jaren Jackson Jr., they have no chance of winning. Because I know with John Morant's going to give me cool everything, cool, amazing, but this Warriors team is not going to come out and suck. They're
Yeah.
gonna have Stephen Curry, and if Stephen Curry's not on, they're gonna have Jimmy Butler. And then if those two guys are on, they have a whole slew of guys. They have Pojensky, Moses Moody, they have Kaminga, Buddy Hield, when Buddy Hield wants to shoot outside of the first month of the season because he looks like Jesus every first month of the season. They have Quinn Post. These guys are loaded.
Yeah.
So again, we'll see what happens. I got the Warriors winning in pretty decent fashion, honestly speaking. I think it'll be a close game through 3 quarters, and then the Warriors would just take off with Jimmy and Stephen Curry. But listen, Draymond, no trying to draw fouls, and you're wide open for a layup to cost your team the lead again in your damn series
Yeah,
again.
no
But
kicking
whatever.
people in the groin getting suspended.
Yeah.
All right, well,
But that about does it, Steve.
yeah, it's pretty exciting stuff. Some record breakers, 2 sports, some big contracts, some firing, some NBA playoffs coming up. Exciting times for sports, as always. We have hockey playoffs coming up. We have basketball playoffs coming up. We have baseball season heating up. So it's starting to get warm. So baseballs are going to start flying. We saw it in Yankee Stadium today. A little wild, if you ask me, but whatever.
Yeah, WrestleMania this weekend.
WrestleMania's this weekend, yes, sir. So a lot of
Day
exciting
1 and 2.
stuff. A lot of exciting stuff going on in sports. So stay tuned. Uh, Make sure you follow the Twitter at TheSandlot Bros. Mr. E runs that, and he does a fantastic job running the social media for us. He keeps us posted, especially with Call of Duty matches. I know it's not a big thing everyone keeps up with, so if you do want to keep up with it, we do post our predictions on there. Just saying, your boy was right. Falcons beat Optic. Just saying.
Hey, but you were wrong with Thieves and Ultra. I had Ultra, you had Thieves.
Hey,
You know
look.
what's funny? When we were talking about the Suns, I was like, who do the Suns remind me of? Optic.
All the talent, just not performing.
All the talent in the world can't win a freaking game.
But yeah, if you want to do a little song of the day right now
Oh,
to wrap it up.
you want to go first?
Sure, I just gotta make sure I mute it so it doesn't play. All right, I can't wait to get there. The weekend.
Oh, hold on. Oh, there you go. ROD. A Boogie with the hoodie.
Oh, I was like, huh? I was like, what's that? All right, so make sure, as usual, like, comment, subscribe, share the video. Let us know what topics you want us to touch on. If there's anything we might have missed. If there's any untouchable break records that you might see that can be broken. I know there's a bunch of them in baseball that don't even think about putting it on there because they ain't gonna be broken. But definitely some
Joey
other
D.
sports that are gonna be broken, or Cal Ripken Jr.'s games played will never be broken. But yeah, let us know what's that. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, like I said. Share the video with your friends, peers, co-workers, grandmas, sisters, dogs, cat, birds, whatever else you
Neighbor,
can know.
mailman, milkman.
Just whatever. Any questions you may have for us, any topics you want us to hit, make sure you comment it below so we don't miss it. Again, thank you for watching this episode of the Sandlot Bro Podcast. See y'all on the next one.